right, y'all. Check 1, 2, the Fat Max, the Almighty Triple XL, coming at you live and direct from MacCity.com, Max City Limits Radio Show, and of course, PowerandStrategy.com. I just got off YouTube, man. You know, my old ass trying to keep up with the times, doing the Google Hangout shit and the live streaming. It's a hot goddamn mess, man. My apologies to the players, you know, trying to figure that shit out. I was trying to figure out how to throw a link into the chat room or the chat section so cats could just pile in and just talk shit with me, but I couldn't figure it out. So I'm gonna have to do that some other time. We have some more important business to tend to, so I couldn't really play around with it. We got something that's really serious going on, man, and as much as I try to be lighthearted about this shit, ain't nothing goddamn funny about it, man. Me and Tony told y'all at least 4 or 5 years ago, man, when this shit was popping off with Cosby, man, that if this shit sets a precedent, ain't none of you niggas safe. All right, listen to what I'm telling you, man. We said if the powers that be get off railroading Cosby like they did, no one is safe. All right, and here we go, man. Here we go, man. So we're gonna be talking about the R. Kelly joint today, man, and it's just a sad state of affairs, man. Every time I look around, I see another brother getting lambasted and getting railroaded and getting crucified, man. You know what I mean? While their white constituents, or excuse me, their white counterparts or their white peers, basically, you know, get off scot-free for the bullshit that they do. So, Tony, man, what you got to say about this shit? There's been a lot of scuttlebutt going on about R. Kelly. Does he deserve what's going on with him, man? You know what I mean? Is he at fault? I mean, what's going on? What's in your mind's eye about this present day predicament, bro?
Well, you know, my perspective is it's much ado about nothing.
Right.
Because this shit took place damn near 20 years ago.
Right.
You see, and here's the thing, you know, that's tripping me out. With respect to the little girl, now that bitch was 14 years old, got on the stand and said it wasn't her in the video. Right. Then the parents got up there and said it wasn't her in the video.
Right.
Now, what they did was an end run, or they're trying to do an end run around double jeopardy. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, double jeopardy is supposed to attach, because that was a jury trial.
Okay.
There's no way he's supposed to be, you know, tried again. But what they did was they changed, you know, what they're charged. They know they couldn't get him with rape anymore. They couldn't get him with criminal sexual conduct, so they came back with sexual assault. Okay. So they're saying, well, you know, this is a different charge. Double jeopardy doesn't attach because, you know, it's a different charge. I said, no, it's the same set of facts. So anytime you see these motherfuckers doing a run around the rules, you know that the fix is in.
Right.
And I remember when Cosby was on, I made the mistake. I said, well, maybe they wouldn't try him again because I know trials are expensive. But then when I went and looked up his prosecutor, Kevin Steele.
Okay.
Kevin Steele ran on a platform. He got elected. He got elected on the promise to prosecute Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. He ran. That was his campaign promise. He ran on the campaign slogan of "I'm gonna get Cosby." Mm-hmm. And so when you got to understand what people don't get about the law, politics is power and law is another form of politics. These prosecutors make their bones off of convictions. That's how they, you know, if you look at the Senate and the Congress and the House of Representatives, all of them fit into two categories. Either they're businessmen or they're lawyers. And if you trace their careers and see where they come from, 85% of them motherfuckers come from the prosecutor's office. Mm-hmm. And do you know how they got to the Congress and to the Senate and to the House of Representatives? They got it by getting convictions. They make their bones on getting convictions. They make their bones on putting niggas into prisons. So when Kevin Steele said that he ran on Cosby, I know what he meant when he said that. I know what that meant. What he was saying is, if you bring down a lion like Bill Cosby, that man, he's written a ticket for the rest of his life. He's untouchable in the state of Pennsylvania. And when you got that kind of a motivation to come after somebody, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to stop till they get you. Right. They violated every book in the book. That shit was outside the statute of limitations. come to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was presented in front of a police officer, the police officer said it wasn't enough evidence to indict Mr. Cosby. There was no raid kit. There was nothing. They bust open a transcript that was damn near, 10 years old, damn near 10 years old. They opened up a sealed transcript that was supposed to be sealed under court order in order to drag him back into court. They had no evidence. This girl didn't even testify to being penetrated. She just said she was drinking on something, and the next thing you know, her blouse and her pants was open. You know, and that's what they convicted this man on. And then every one of them niggas lined up against him. Boyce Watkins, punk ass, and where is he right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every nigga that said that slick shit against Cosby, every one of them done been indicted. Every one of them. Boyce Watkins came out talking that old crazy shit. And now where is he at? He's in court because a bitch saying he robbed her. Essentially, that's what she's saying.
Right.
You know, and he didn't give Cosby the benefit that he want people to give him now. Torrey, I ain't even seen his ass. Where is he at now?
Shit, man. Hey, yeah, let's try to run down the list of brothers that are being lynched and crucified right now as we speak. Of course, they came out to was it Russell Simmons?
Russell Simmons.
Okay.
He out the damn country. He ain't even in the States no more.
He's smart. He said, hell no. I see what this is about. Shit. Yeah, we got Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yep.
We got Morgan Freeman.
Yep. You know, it's some serious shit when you trying to indict God.
Morgan Freeman shit. What other brothers, man? They trying to nail to the wall with bullshit allegations.
Torrey.
Shit.
What's the other nigga? Torrey. Oh, Boyce Watkins is in court now. You know, and he ain't in court for sexual assault, but if you listen to Anti-Afro Swengali, she's saying, you know, he's exploiting black women and shit like that.
He's disgusting.
Yeah.
He's nasty, reprehensible, and disgusting. He wants to pee on the girls. What would she say? He wants to pee on the girls like R. Kelly.
Yeah. Who talks to girls like that? A telephone pole up the booty. Who talks to women like that?
Yeah, man. It's all about, you know, giving the females, you know, carte blanche, man, and never giving the brothers the benefit of the doubt. You automatically wrong and you automatically guilty. You know what I'm saying? If, you know, the allegation is leveled against you, man. You know what I mean? Shit. And, you know, I don't know how true this shit is, man, but I was hearing that a couple of the females that are coming against R. Kelly now, they actually have clothing with his semen on it. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did. I did hear about that.
Okay, so I guess this is clothing from like a decade ago or some shit.
Yep.
Okay.
That's that Monica Lewinsky shit.
Yeah, well, check this shit out, man. Let's go back to the show that we did where I was telling cats, man, there ain't no victims in this shit. There ain't no victims in this shit, man. You look at, because I was telling cats how scandalous these bitches are. I said, man, a bitch could be 9 years old and be fucking scandalous. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so this shit went down probably about a decade ago. I don't know, even if they were, let's say 14, when they got with R. Kelly, the parents was down with it, the broads was down with it, and to prove that they was down with it, why would you, as a 14-year-old so-called child, save clothing with R. Kelly's sperm on it? Why would you do that? Sounds like, once again, a setup to me. Sounds like some insurance. Sounds like the fix is in. That don't sound like no innocent ass bitches. Did that sound like some innocent bitches to you?
Hell no, that ain't no innocent bitch. They went in there on Operation Shakedown. You see what I'm saying? They went in there to extort that nigga. They were there. It goes, remember what we said on that podcast, Payroll Pimp said, y'all out here thinking that we exploiting these women. And she said, you just don't know. Some of these bitches just as hungry for money as the pimp is.
Man.
Some of these bitches are just as ruthless as he is.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way a 14-year-old girl or her parents would have the presence of mind. Let me collect your clothes because that nigga nutted on them. Let me collect it and stash it. There's no way if you didn't go in there on some scandalous shit. There's no way you could have approached that man and not been on some shakedown. There's no way you could have approached that man if you didn't have extortion on your mind and you sitting here saying, who does that? Saving clothes that's over a decade old. That happened at the turn of the century. R. Kelly caught these charges at the turn of the century, before the turn of the century. So you ain't talking about a decade old. We're talking about almost 2 decades old.
Yeah.
My nigga, we talking about almost 20 years. So they went in there on some shakedown shit. They went in there on some extortion shit. They went in there with the intention to pat this nigga's pockets. They went in there with the intentions to make this nigga run up that bag. Give it up, nigga. They went in there with the intention to pat his pockets. They were preying on him. So you think I'm going to be mad when he's doing his best to put these bitches in check knowing they coming for his paper? The fuck out of here.
Yeah, but of course, you know, we have to give the obligatory. It's sad that we got to do it, but we got to do it. Me and Tony do not endorse anyone boning minors. We don't endorse it. Good Lord, it's sad that we got to go ahead and throw that shit out there, man. But it is what it is, man. You know, especially my experience with these street freaks, man, of a 14-year-old persuasion. Shit, nigga. We're talking about innocent. They're innocent victims. Fuck out of here, man. Ain't nothing innocent about these bitches, man. Ain't a goddamn thing innocent about these broads, man. You know, the law of the land is the law of the land. So, it is what it is. If the law says, hands off 14-year-old children, then R. Kelly, my nigga, hands off the 14-year-old children. You know what I mean? But, it's quite obvious that the parents and the so-called minors involved, they not wearing no halos. You feel me? They ain't wearing no angel wings. They knew what they was doing from the jump, from the giddy up, man.
Yeah, they were prostituting their daughter. That's what the fuck they were doing.
Right.
They were and Sparkle was in on it too. I ain't buying that shit. Sparkle knew she was delivering her niece to R. Kelly. The fuck out of here. You was there. You knew when he married Aaliyah. You weren't, you know, unaware of what was going down. You weren't a fool. You know what was happening. Everybody knew what was happening. You see? So, that again, this is a lesson. A lot of times when we talk about, niggas got it twisted when we were talking about power tricking. They thought that we were talking about just throwing money at bitches. And that wasn't what we were talking about at all. That wasn't what we were laying down at all, because if you're not careful, your fame and your money paints a big-ass red X on your chest. You remember that sign Public Enemy used to have with that motherfucker in the crosshairs?
Yeah.
The little symbol, the little logo they had?
Yep.
That's what you are when you're somebody like R. Kelly. And although he may be illiterate, he understands that. He understands he's a target. He understands that he's living in those crosshairs. He understands what the situation is, you know. So he was basically being preyed on. He was basically being preyed on by everybody he was fucking with. Even the bitch that met him on the courthouse steps when he was going to trial for the rape of the 14. She met him on the steps and lied and said she was 21 when that bitch was really 16. She lied. You see what I'm saying? She lied. He asked her. She explicitly told him she was older than what she was. And then not only that, that bitch went out and recruited for him.
And she's now included in this latest salvo of accusations against him, right?
Yeah. And she got a settlement, my nigga. She got a settlement. She got a settlement. She signed a non-disclosure agreement. You know, she signed an order of dismissal in her case. She signed that. But what happened was her order, they found out a way to break her order. They went back in and broke the settlement agreement. They broke her confidentiality and non-disclosure agreements, and she came back, and she's coming back after him.
God damn, boy. Whoa. Ain't no love for a man. No love for a man in oh my God, this day and time, man. I'm trying to tell you, so here we got this female. She meet him at the courthouse at his trial, So she should already know the deal. She should already know that this dude, you know, what he is and what he about. But she's smitten by him once again, and she goes ahead and she hooks up with him. And then to add insult to injury, she lied to the motherfucker and say, you know, I'm 21, you know, when she's actually 16. And then, you know, I guess they have a sexual relationship that he's sending her out recruiting broads and shit. So it's like there's more than enough of guilt assigned to this bitch, so no one would actually take her seriously and kick her ass out the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? But it don't seem to be. It don't seem to be that way. I mean, what's going through your head that makes you, I don't know, look at this whole system sideways? Why are these females getting so much rhythm, so much love, and why is the man getting I don't know, getting no love? I don't know. What's your theory on that, man? Because it just seems to be very deliberate.
Because they're weaponizing the bitches. You know, it's like you always say, they're weaponizing women. You see, the quickest way, one of my mentors told me, he said, 2 things take black men out the game. He said, that's pussy and coke.
Okay.
It does it to you every time. And see, they know that if they can always use these bitches against the niggas. They can always use the women against the men. Right. You see, and just going back to Cosby's case, one of his attorneys said that NBC, every one of them bitches that Gloria Allred is representing, NBC flew them at their expense to his criminal trial.
Dang. So
that they could testify. Had limousines for them at the airport, put them up at a hotel. So that they could make sure that they were there and give testimony against that man. You know, this shit is done on purpose. It's not by happenstance. It's not by coincidence. This shit is by design. Eddie Griffith said it. He said, no black man retires from this game with clean hands.
Right.
No black. And I'm going to tell you now, give it another 5 years, sooner or later, they're going to get something on Denzel.
Yeah, they seem
sooner
to
or later, they go ahead, bro.
Yeah, they seem to be, you know, they seem to have a checklist, my nigga. They seem to have a checklist, boy. They just going down the line, seeing how many brothers that they can clean, you know, clean their clocks, man, clean their pockets. Shit.
I remember the late great Barry White. He said something years ago, and he was on Tavis Smiley's show. And Barry White said, they asked him, he said, do your children live in Hollywood? Barry White said, hell no. He said, I don't keep my kids, I don't keep my family around this business.
Okay.
He said, this is a dangerous business. You know, and nobody understood what he was saying. Spike Lee, for whatever disagreement you may have with him, Spike Lee didn't live in Hollywood. Spike Lee lives in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So the point here is that machinations, those Hollywood studios and those Hollywood television conglomerates and those huge multinational broadcast corporations, they have a litany of public relations people. They have a built-in private security. The police cooperate with them. The police become their personal private security forces. They have multi-million-dollar public relations firms, powerful attorneys, people in all echelons of power to basically create the reality that they want to see. They're not just in the business of creating fiction on television. They're in the business of creating fiction in real life. You see, It's got to be fictional when they can convict a motherfucker with no evidence. Shit. They can convict a motherfucker when all the bitches agree that they consented. Now, with the exception of the young girl, maybe she couldn't consent because she was underage. I get that. But all them other hoes consented to doing what they did. Consented.
You know what I find funny, man, is, you know, they talking about all the so-called negative stuff. He made me knock on the floor to go pee and all this stupid shit, but they leaving out all the swell shit. You know, all the shopping sprees and all the traveling and, you know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, you wasn't up in this man's mansion just 24/7, like in a dark room next to a bucket. Stop lying, bitch. Shit, you was hanging around there for something. You know what I mean? And,
when they caught that one girl, they was at the mall mall shopping.
Yeah.
You remember the one girl on Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
She was at the mall shopping.
Mm-hmm.
That part, you ain't talking about that. You wasn't walking around with your mascara smudged and tear tracks all in your cheek from crying and being abused and disheveled. No, bitch, you was going to the mall. You was getting $1,000 shopping sprees. He was putting racks in your hand. He was buying you $4,000 and $5,000 Gucci purses. He was buying you all kind of Fendi bags. He was buying you all kind of slick gear for you to stun on from all the rest of them hoes that you shining on, in text message and telling them you got it made. He was allowing you to stun in front of your friends. You was flossing in front of your bitches with shit that he bought. Now all of a sudden he the goddamn enemy because somebody done slid up in your ear that they ready to throw him under the bus because they through with him now.
And because they kind of like outlive their usefulness. You know how it is, man, with cats that got money. I mean, just me with my piddly ass, man. You know what I mean? Shit, I gotta replace a bitch. I can't keep you around forever. You know what I'm saying? Shit, they getting their feelings about that shit, man. They don't like to be replaced, homie. They don't like that shit.
Yeah, because he was constantly recruiting. Kelly's constantly recruiting. He got his own fucking concubine, his own personal harem. And see, when they ain't getting that attention no more, and the shopping sprees ain't coming as fast as they used to, and you ain't the flavor of the month no more, now it's time you gonna join with motherfuckers on the outside, and throw a motherfucker under the bus that you thoroughly cooperated with to get what you want. You thoroughly, and that every one of them bitches sat up there and said they voluntarily had sex with him, and they didn't say no because he was who he was. That bitch, the last bitch you claim he gave her herpes or whatever, she consented to unconsensual sex with him. She said, what am I going to say? No, because he's R. Kelly. I wasn't going to say no. The same way them bitches didn't say no because he was Bill Cosby. The same way Maria Lloyd didn't say no because he was Boyce Watkins. The same way that bitch didn't say anything but bent over and let Teray run up in her ass because he was Teray. The same way that bitch didn't say anything when she dropped down on her knees and sucked Neil deGrasse Tyson's dick in an office in NASA. The same way that they did that. Now all of a sudden they coming back and it's not consensual. I didn't approve. It was no, bitch. It wasn't harassment, and you got a promotion. You got what you got out of it. And now what this is you got whore's remorse. So what it is you gonna join with this man's open adversaries who want to throw him back in the streets to try to pat this man's pockets.
And it's obvious, that R. Kelly. I mean, he kind of perpetrating like he a pimp and a Mac, man, but we know what this was, man. This some straight out tricking and shit. And that could be easily seen at the fact that when this brother was locked up, he didn't even have no goddamn bail money, man. This nigga couldn't even bail his own ass out of jail. He was tricking hard on them bitches. He was taking care of all of these flea-bitten mutts, man.
No question about that. And this goes back to, see, when you on their money, this is the bad thing. This is why I can't be a mother. And I know he making a whole lot of money, but I can't be Anthony Brian Logan.
Right.
I can't do that. Okay. I can't sit up and tap dance to, because see, the same way they gave that shit to you, they'll take that shit from you.
Right.
And when they come to take that shit back from you, they taking it all. They taking everything. Bill Cosby's net worth was immense, but tonight he sits in a prison cell, convicted of some shit that everybody knows he's innocent of. R. Kelly couldn't bail himself out of jail. You know who was getting him out of jail? The power behind him was the record label. The record label was the weight, was the muscle behind his weight. And that when that record company pulls its support from you, when it pulls its high-powered attorneys and its public relations people and all of its friends in the media and all of its police intelligence and security forces, and when it pulls all of these publicists, when it pulls all of that shit away from you, you naked and exposed and you ain't got nothing left, and then they gonna turn the bitches against you that was just taking a load in their face from you. They gonna turn around and condemn you now. they're going to turn around and say you raped them or you sexually assaulted. You out there naked on your own. You got no way to defend yourself. You know, I'm pretty sure he called that record label and they stopped accepting his phone calls. And that's the only reason he's still in that's the only reason he, you know, didn't make bail, is because the record companies didn't swing to his rescue. And as a matter of fact, guess who took up the bail money to get him out? It was the women.
Yeah, black women. Mm-hmm.
Black women.
They love the bad boy, my nigga.
Yeah, took up a collection plate to put this nigga back on the street.
Yeah.
O'Shea Duke Jackson said it, and he was right when he said it. Ain't nothing gonna save him. Mm-hmm. Because if they can take down Bill Cosby, nigga, you ain't got a prayer.
You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. This shit ain't even fun. And what's really cold blooded to me is this whole statute of limitation shit. How they gonna come after your ass 20 years later, my nigga? It's like, what? Seriously? You gonna come after a motherfucker 20 years later and you ain't got no proof? All you got is the words of this disgruntled ass bitch. And then, just like, you know, we talking about this whole situation where they supposed to have clothing with R. Kelly's DNA matter on it. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly got to basically prove that that clothing wasn't worn by him or the broad when they was 14. That shit could have been, you know, been worn when they was of age. But they trying to claim that all of this shit went down when they was not even of age. You know what I mean? So it's all
when they were
on him.
underage.
Say what?
When they were underage.
Yeah.
They're trying to say this went down when she was underage.
Exactly. You know, but he got to prove that didn't happen. You know, it's automatically to the point where they're believing from the gate that this shit went down when they was underage. But he got to prove, you know, the obverse of that shit.
And it's going to be extremely difficult for him to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
See? So, I mean, this works out for everybody because the record company is able to shed him as a liability. He ain't turning out records like that no more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You see? So the record company, and he probably doesn't own his own masters. That's another thing.
No, he does not.
So he don't own his own motherfucking masters. So they're going to keep his masters, let him go to prison. You know, so it's a win-win for them because he's off their books as a liability, but they got his masters as an asset. Then on top of it, the goddamn prosecutor gonna turn around and come up because this conviction is gonna make his career. He's gonna be a made man wherever in the state that he's prosecuting R. Kelly. He's gonna be a made man. He's gonna be a senator and a governor and so forth. So he can write his ticket for the rest of his life off of this conviction. Mm-hmm. And then the bitch is gonna turn around and sue the record company for what they get from the record company. So the record company gonna settle with the bitches for a low six-figure settlement. They're gonna make millions off his masters, and the prosecutor is gonna make a future off of a conviction. Everybody wins. That's how the system goes. Because they're going to hit him with everything in the book because they're going to tell him, look, if you go to trial and you get convicted, we're going to stroke your ass. If you get convicted, you're going to get sentenced near the high end. But if you go ahead and take this deal and plead out, you know, it'll be much better for you in the long run. And they're right because it gives everybody what they want. It gives them their conviction. It gives the record company a relief from any liabilities that they have to pay him or any royalties they have to pay him or any monies that they owe him have to pay him because he's going to be in prison, so he ain't going to be able to do shit. You know, and then they could turn around and cash the bitches out for low six-figure settlements because they sponsored their presence in that lawsuit in the first place. They're the ones that's making it possible for the prosecutor to even bring a criminal conviction. They're the ones that are funding these bitches' lifestyle just to get the conviction. That's how it go. They funnel a whole lot of money to these hoes under the table. You know, they fund their disloyalty. They fund their disrespect. They fund their selective memory. And then they'll cut these bitches a little small check and then they'll ride on off into the sunset and that's it.
My nigga, if I would have knew that this shit was going to be popping off back in 2003, there would have been no Mac City, my nigga. There would have been no Mac City, my nigga. I can't believe this shit. Yo, Big Mike is in a shit sandwich, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't get rid of my site now. I gotta keep that motherfucker up forever. Gotta keep it up forever now. You know what I mean?
You can't get out the game, baby.
I can't get out.
Go nowhere. You can't see. I told you that. You wouldn't listen to me. I told you couldn't go anywhere. you can't fuck with the bitches anymore, but you can't go anywhere, man, because you never know. You see, and then you got to keep, even if you do take your site down, brother, do you know where your shit is? Do you know every tube site where your videos gonna turn up under different names and different titles and shit? Motherfucker type in Fat Mac attacks and skeets on huge bubble and shit, and a video pop up with one of them bitches, or something else pops up under some nondescript meta tag or title or whatever, and then there go one of them bitches doing their thing and getting down on X Hamster or whatever YouPorn or whatever tube site there is. Your shit is out there forever.
Yeah. Forever. So that means,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that means like 35 years from now, you know, when I'm close to going into an old folks home, or when I am in an old folks home, they could bring me up on motherfucking charges.
Nigga, tell you a goddamn breathing machine and shit. Wearing a goddamn breathing machine with an apparatus attached to your wheelchair and shit. You know, regulating your breathing and helping your lungs to expand, and you getting brought in court on some shit like this 35 years later. Because you know what they did? They turn around, and here's the fuckery part of it. To let you know that they were getting ready to open the floodgates on your motherfucking ass, they turn around and sponsored or drafted legislation to expand the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations on murder, the largest period, was usually 12 years. They done expanded that shit to like 16 and 20 years, and that's damn near the statute of limitations for murder. Damn near. Well, murder has no statute of limitations, realistically speaking. There's no statute of limitations for murder, but once upon a time, my point is the statute of limitations for some shit like this used to be short as hell. But now they done turn around and they're expanding the statute. They're lengthening, or they're expanding the statute of limitations. That's because they're finna get ready to mop some niggas up.
Man, yeah.
And they're not doing this to mop up little dirty dick Rodney on the block. That's not what they're doing that shit for. They gives a fuck about him. He's broke. He don't have anything. He's worthless. He ain't got nothing but a bunch of damn illegitimate kids. You know, they don't want him. They did that shit to come after all these niggas that got some money. That's what the purpose of that shit is. That is to come after every nigga that has more than $1 to his name. So it started in a very real sense. It started with Bill Cosby. After Bill Cosby fell, now everybody that has anything worth anything, all you niggas are in the crosshairs now. So when you were stupid enough to be jumping up and down and celebrating Bill Cosby's conviction, and Michael Eric Dyson, who I normally like, but he came with that bullshit. Bill Cosby raped all of us. He one of these niggas mad about that pound cake speech, and mad that Bill Cosby told these niggas to pull, tell them to pull their pants up and tell them to have some type of responsibility. He jumped on that big hate. He jumped on that bandwagon. And I'm waiting for something to come out about his ass. Because, he's married to his wife is a female preacher. She's a minister.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for some shit to come out about him. And then Tavis Smiley. You remember there was some shit came out about and it was his girlfriend.
Yeah. They tried to get him too. Yeah. All it takes is the word of some disgruntled ass bitch. That's all it takes.
It was his damn girlfriend. It was his girlfriend who claimed he was sexually. It was the same bitch who he was laying down with at night and fucking on. That's who said he sexually harassed her. His damn girlfriend, a woman who consented to fucking him. Nobody's safe anymore. Old ass Morgan Freeman, the man that played God and Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty, they came after God, nigga. This is going to be a way to get rid of these niggas with a shiny little nickel in their pocket. This is going to be a way for them to get rid of niggas that got coins.
Shit.
This is the means by which they relieve niggas of their paper and put them back in the projects.
Shit. Once again, we go back to the novel 1984 by George Orwell. One of the main ways that the Ministry of Truth got rid of their opposition was through sex crimes. You remember that?
Yep.
Basically,
sure was.
Yeah, they would basically have individuals who they felt were dangerous to the inner party, and they would basically put them up on the telly screen, and they would have them admit that they had done things against the inner party, which was majority of the time inappropriate sex. They would say I fondled, or I had sex, or I contracted gonorrhea, or I contracted syphilis. It was kind of like, going to confessional at a Catholic church, man. You know what I mean? And I find it really odd. I find it really kind of spooky and eerie that this same shit's going on right now, man. We basically have a sex crimes era when really no sex crimes are actually happening. They're basically trumping up a lot of this shit, man. The major corporations, they have to have, and just like how you were saying, they're going after cats with a lot of money in their pocket. But also, I believe they will be targeting the little men as well, because you know how corporations privatize, have privatized prisons and whatnot, and they have quotas to fill, and they have to criminalize everything. Everything must be criminalized in order for them to meet their quota to just stuff a lot of people in these goddamn prisons, man. And this is one of the ways that they're doing it, by criminalizing everything, by extending the statute of limitations on shit, you know what I mean? Which makes, like I said, no one is safe. Like I said, these average everyday cats, you can't be sitting around gloating. You can't be sitting around thinking that it's all good and that they not going to be coming for you, because years down the line, it comes in increments. Pretty soon, I mean, like I said, it won't take nothing. I mean, it already don't take nothing to basically put a black man behind bars. But my nigga, you wait. You see what the fuck they doing to brothers with money? Shit. And it's all going to be, piggybacking upon so-called sex crimes. Go ahead. You got something to say?
If they can get them, you don't stand a chance.
Man. Mm-hmm.
They got a motherfucker who was trying to buy a network. A network. And if they can get him with the army of people that he had, and he has 11 appealable issues, and do you know the Court of Appeals is dragging their feet before they will review his appeal?
Didn't some of this stuff go to the Supreme Court just recently?
I think they filed, for the Supreme Court to have the Supreme Court to review it, because the Court of Appeals was saying that they didn't want to be bothered with it.
Now, I heard, I may be wrong, that Clarence Thomas, and isn't that ironic? Clarence Thomas was actually the one who spearheaded, and I think he had overturned some sort of I forget what the broad name was, but she said that Bill Cosby slandered her name when he basically called her a liar when she in fact was lying on him. And that case went to the Supreme Court, and I think,
and they threw it out.
Yeah, and they threw it out. And so the cat who's the spokesperson for Bill Cosby said that this is a positive thing, and that this could lead to a massive, vindication, or where they could overturn a lot of things that's happened to Bill Cosby through this kangaroo court. What do you think?
Well, it's possible. I think it's possible, but it's an uphill battle, because I know how that system is. See, the thing is the man is 81 years old?
Right.
So he don't have a whole lot of time.
Okay.
See, with niggas that don't have any money, if your issue is appealable, or if they make an error, 9 times out of 10, what they do is they run the clock down on you. What they do is you do 60 to 70% of your time, then they overturn your shit on appeal, which is just, they make you do just enough time till where even if you didn't win the appeal, you would have ended up getting out on probation or parole anyway.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So you serve 60 to 70% of your time before they even hear the appeal. So you even after you've done your time, you still have a possibility of getting parole. So they still got their time out of you. As opposed to hearing the shit, when the wound is fresh, as opposed to hearing the shit when the violation is brand new, or when the violation was just committed. They wait until you've been in prison for 70% of your time, then they want to hear the appeal and cut you loose.
Man.
After you done suffered untold mental damage from exposure to that environment, you've suffered all type of psychological distress. you know, an injury from that environment, now they want to turn around and say, I'll hear your appeal and let you out. You know, and I know that's what they're doing. He's 81. He don't have a whole lot of time left on the clock. They should have been had that shit in front of the Court of Appeals. They should have been had that shit up there. They should have been, you know, had some type of review for this man to be released. You know, but that just goes to show you, anytime you see them going outside of the scope of their own rules, and you're stupid enough to laugh at that shit, like you said, it's going to be you next. If they'll do that to him and he has all that money, just imagine what they're going to do to you. There was the old poem that said, you know, I didn't say anything when it came for the Muslim because I wasn't a Muslim. I didn't say anything when it came for the socialist because I wasn't a socialist. I didn't say anything when it came for the homosexual because I'm not gay. And then when it came for me, there was nobody left. You know, I'm paraphrasing it, but that's pretty much how it went. Right. And that's what this situation is. You know, when they come for you, ain't going to be nobody left to speak up for you. You know, because when they got Cosby, you were laughing. Yep. When they got R. Kelly, you were laughing. When they got Morgan Freeman, you thought it was funny. You know, when they got Tavis Smiley, you know, you thought it was all jokes. You thought it was all fun and games until they come knocking on your door for some shit a bitch said 20 years ago.
And believe me, Jack, I don't find this shit amusing at all, my nigga. Because I done had enough goddamn interaction with enough broads that's disgruntled right about now, my nigga. You know what I mean? Shit, I'm not laughing at this shit, not in the least. I'm like, y'all got me fucked up.
Ain't nothing funny about this shit. You can't laugh because ain't a damn thing funny about that. You could lose your freedom over some shit just because a bitch get religion and she can't tolerate the shame of what she did when she was desperate. You know, some nigga done fucked her life up and put her in a bad decision, and she had to hit a lick and come up and hit that lick and came up, especially when you were like, I know Bill Cosby was extra generous to these motherfuckers. Bill Cosby gave people racks up on racks up on racks up on racks in order to try to balance the scales, and it still didn't mean shit to him. Same thing with R. Kelly. Them bitches weren't living no menial bestial existence. These bitches are in shopping malls all over the countries, running up expenses, running up debts, running up checks, padding pockets, running up that nigga's charge accounts, out there trading on his good name in the streets. You understand? Trading on the capital of being fucked by him and getting all kind of presents and getting all type of deference and all type of gifts shown to them because of their association with him. And now 20 years later, because they children or they stupid ass family members find out that they was sucking his dick or involved in a threesome because they can't stand up to the shame of what they did in order to come up and stunt. Now they want to have that nigga crucified and thrown in prison. Ain't nothing funny about that.
Man, this shit is crazy.
Ain't nothing funny about that.
Can't believe.
Just imagine if somebody come up to the stupid ass warrior princess, come up to her and say, "Look, all you got to do is tell us about the Fat Mac." This nigga called the Fat Mac. Did he have you locked in his house? You know, you got to have done some photo shoots at his apartment. You know, and you know your son. This is crazy because your daughter is seeing pictures of you getting fucked by some nigga named the Side Trickster. You know, this can't feel good. How does this make you feel when your daughter sees this? How does this make you feel when your son sees this? You should be ashamed of yourself. But there's a way we can make this right for you, warrior princess. There's a way we can fix this. You know, we can take it off the internet. She too stupid. She don't know that it can't happen. You know, we're going to take this off the internet. We're going to remove this so that no one will see this again. And then the best part about this, we're going to see that you get some type of monetary compensation for all your pain and suffering. Because we don't think it's right that he's still able to make money off this site and you have to live the rest of your life in shame and disgrace. We don't think it's right that you got to be looked at as less of a mother in the eyes of your children because, you know, this man exploited you. He used you. he made all this money while you were out here struggling on Section 8. How is that fair, Warrior Princess? Help us do something about it.
Oh my God, man.
She gonna say, fuck that. I tried to call him and he wouldn't return my calls, and he wouldn't give me no money when I was fucked up. I made that site. If it wasn't for me, nobody would come to that site. That nigga owe me. Fuck him. I talk to the FBI. I talk to the task force. I talk to the sheriff's department. Fuck him. Yeah, I want to prosecute him. Yeah, how much you say you gonna give me again? You gonna give me $500? Yeah, I'll testify against that nigga for $500.
Yep. And the funny thing is, even though I do have the receipts, even though I got the pictures, I got the scribes, I got the video, I don't even think that would mean shit. I don't even think that amount to a hill of beans either. You know what I'm saying? I believe that just the word of a bitch will outweigh all the tangible evidence that I would have to contradict what the bitch say. In this present climate, I really believe that everything that I have won't amount to a hill of beans, but yet and still, I still gotta keep it.
If you had said that 10 years ago, I would have disagreed with you.
Right.
But today, I don't throw nothing out the window.
You ain't lying
anymore.
You ain't lying.
I don't throw shit out the window anymore. I don't believe that anything we can take no one's future for granted.
Right.
You can't take nobody's future for granted. Because if you can sit here, I mean, think about this, my nigga. This woman said that she woke up and the only thing that happened was her shirt was open and her pants was unbuttoned. That's it. That's it. And this bitch came back after he tried to do this before. Claims she came back after he tried to do this before. They didn't find no semen. She ain't got no clothes with no semen on her. She ain't got shit.
Shit.
You see what I'm saying? So the only thing, but you on the other hand, you got shit that in any normal court would exonerate you. But then that bitch get in court and break down and start crying when they see her getting a load dumped in her grill and she break down and show that sympathy in front of the jury. That's enough. It's sad to say that shit. It's sad for me to have to sit here, me knowing the system, me working in the system, me that done been involved in the system, that has seen this shit not fly in any other instance. Now it's flying now. And now I can sit here with certainty and tell you that it wouldn't fly in your case.
Bruh. Ooh, it's a new day and age, man. This is definitely, it's a mixture of Brave New World and 1984, man. It's like, this is truly the sex crimes era, man, where damn near everything you do is a sex crime. You can look at a bitch, blow the bitch a kiss. Oh, that's a sex crime, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like, what?
So wait a minute, I said, didn't you sign this? Yeah, I signed it, but there's no but, bitch. You signed this. You signed this. What you mean, but? There's no but. You signed on the dotted line to do this. What's the problem? Well, I'm just saying my kids seen it. Well, yeah, your kids seen it, and?
Yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault, yeah.
That's your fault, yeah. That's your fault because their kids saw them on, X Hamster. Bitch, it ain't even on his site. This is on another site. What does he have to do with this? Right. And they're so stupid that they're dangerous. They're so stupid. They're stupid in any other facet, but they're stupid enough to be dangerous. And this is what the status quo knows, and they can, again, this is weaponizing women. This is the weaponization of women. They become insane weapons in their hands. There's no way this bitch should have got, there's no way any of these bitches in R. Kelly's case should have gotten the slightest bit of sympathy.
Man.
Not one of them. Not one of them.
Bruh.
They don't deserve to be on no goddamn Me Too platform. What you mean? You too? You ready to get fucked too? You sucking dick too? You taking a load in the grill too? Yeah, you too. You too, bitch. You too.
Shit. And once again, you know, for the idiots, man, Big Mike and Tony do not endorse having sex with minors, but yet still, there's some little scandalous bitches, and they are not victims. Even though R. Kelly should not have been touching on them. You know what I mean? R. Kelly, like I said, the laws of the land dictate that you should not be touching 14-year-old children. You shouldn't be touching them, but yet still, the flip side of that is, them bitches ain't no victims, man. They knew what the fuck they was doing, and they enjoyed what the fuck they was doing. So, that does not scream victim. You feel me? So, I don't know, take it for what it's worth.
R. Kelly didn't have any business fucking with an underage girl. But let's be honest, again, if we were really about that life of protecting the children, R. Kelly should have been in his grave a long time ago. If you serious. Because see, if you do that shit over in the Muslim countries, that's your ass. You gonna get beheaded.
Shit.
Flat the fuck out. If you do that in those Muslim countries, you're gonna get beheaded. Shit. So if we were really serious, we wouldn't have bought his records. If we were really serious, we wouldn't have had anything else to do with him. We would have hunted him down. We would have broke into that little mansion that he had them bitches in up there in Chicago and in Atlanta. We would have broke in there and drug his ass out by his throat. Shit. And strung him up if we really meant that.
Well, of course we don't mean it because it's too normal. Of course
we don't mean it.
It's too normal.
Yeah,
it
is
all the time, man. Shit.
It is. It is normal. And that little bitch went to trial and said it wasn't her. You knew it was you. Why you get up there and lie? And you know this ain't nobody coming after them for perjury.
Nope.
That's a criminal trial, and that bitch got up there and perjured. Her and her parents got up there and perjured themselves. Where are their criminal charges for perjury? Meanwhile, the little motherfucker from Empire, they prosecuting him for filling out a false police report and charging him with a felony. Jussie Smollett. They're charging Jussie Smollett with a felony.
Hold on.
For allegedly faking an attack.
Check this out. Let us switch gears for a moment because I'm tired of hearing about this Jussie. I don't even know who the fuck this nigga is, man. But everybody and their mama asking me and you to do something about this Jussie. What's his name?
Jussie Smollett.
Okay, who is he? What's his claim to fame? What did he do? I don't know shit about this nigga. Who is this nigga, man?
Jussie Smollett is an actor.
Okay.